well, Ryan's over here trying to play a zipper orchestra for us as we return to game. No. Not mother. No. Alright, well. That was that.
Also, I wanted to acquire enough lead to make a chainmail.
So, okay. Enough lead?
Yes.
Okay. That's gonna be one heavy fucking piece of chainmail.
Yeah. It's what we decided, though, right? It's like... But
is this to protect Zeke?
It's not the bullshit third party or whatever one. I just want lead that basically would have anti-scrying effects is the idea.
Oh yeah, if it's for me, I used the breastplate, or did we decide we had to use the chain?
Yeah, I think when Steve and I were talking about breastplate doesn't really cover much of your body. Chainmail would.
Yeah, you need the overall coverage of your body to be effective.
Yeah, I thought I remembered something about that, but I just wanted to double check.
I think it's the same AC. I don't know. I think everything is the same between chainmail and breastplate, except maybe like armor technology.
Well, here's the thing: you can wear breastplate over chainmail. Yeah, we're back at red. This is nice. Thanks, Discord.
Jesus, Discord, man.
The thing is, I would pay money to them if I bought into faster speed and connection. But I don't get that. I just get my cameras at higher quality when I'm screen capping. Hopefully we come out of this. Come on.
No.
The sound thing is fixed, right?
Yep. Looks like it's coming back.
That
Okay.
sounds a bit better.
Yeah.
What about now?
I'm still...
Oh.
If I could throw something at you across the internet, I would. Stop that. All right, Cassius. You are wandering about the streets. You are accosted by a Tarask that doesn't like your zipper noises, and I need you to roll initiative.
Uh-oh.
So you are wandering about town, kind of bored, probably heading towards the inn, I'm assuming, to get some drinks.
I mean, we're not going to be here too long anyways, right?
Not theoretically, no. When somebody on the streets happens to notice you. You! Do military, yes? Yes?
Yes.
You can help me.
Maybe.
No, you can help me. Listen.
That depends.
I have a problem.
Okay.
There's a guy. He stole something from me. You could beat him up, right? Get me back my stuff?
Doesn't that sound like a job more for, like, the local police, or...
The guard doesn't want anything to do with it. They say he didn't steal it. I know he stole it. I'll prove it. Do you want me to prove it?
You're trying to hire the military to beat up a guy.
And get my stuff back. It's very valuable.
See, the thing is that the problem that I'm having with this is that you specifically stated not to get your stuff back, but to beat him up and get your stuff back.
I mean, you should be punished, right? If somebody stole something from you, you would want them to be punished, wouldn't you?
I mean, I would.
Exactly. So what I'm asking is for you to go beat him up and get my stuff back. Should be fairly straightforward.
That seems,
I can prove it. Do you want me to prove it?
Depends on what you mean by prove it. Had a lot of people offering to do things, unexpected things, that I'm not a fan of.
I can let you see my thoughts.
That's what I was afraid of.
Well, I couldn't do it. I'd have to take you somewhere, but they would let you see my thoughts.
One moment, random guy. Let me check my sheet real quick.
Okay. Something... Well, it doesn't necessarily seem like he's... Like, he does seem very interested in getting something back. and it does seem like he is willing to share his actual thoughts with you. Something doesn't feel quite right about this. Something really doesn't feel quite right about this. Like, there's probably something more here that he's not explaining, but what he's saying isn't necessarily false or misleading per se.
I'm gonna kind of like look. There's nobody else around, right? Or
Doesn't seem to be.
I'm gonna kind of like look around for like a safer place to talk.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, you can guide him. You can guide him over to like. There's a bit of an area. Well, give me a perception. Let's see if you can see someplace first, rather than just give this to you for free. That's well enough.
Oh, I rolled a 2. Good.
That's okay. It totals up to a 10, so you can find a place that seems like, you know, kind of closed off enough that you guys can have a more private conversation.
So, what aren't you telling me?
Well, it's hard because I was hoping that if I shared memory, I wouldn't have to show you what it is.
Okay.
And I'd rather you didn't know. See, what he stole was, it's in a box. He stole the box, and I don't think he knows what he stole. I think he just knows that it's something valuable. There were a lot of people guarding it, and I think one of the burglar types has managed to steal it. And it's very hard to open. You have to have a very specific device, and he like lifts an amulet up off of his neck to open it up. And without this amulet, you can't open it.
So you think it was just a regular old burglar that stole something above his pay grade?
Yeah, I think he thinks he got like a box of something nice, but doesn't quite realize what's inside of it. And so I need somebody who'll do the job, because it's what the law says. It's my box, and nothing inside of the box is illegal, but it is dangerous.
Oh, I was more concerned with whether or not it was yours than the...
Oh, it is.
You know.
It's definitely mine. I have rights to it. That's why I'm willing to share my memory with you. But opening up the box or handling the box or expressing how valuable the box is could be dangerous. If somebody with the right knowledge ended up with what's inside of that box, there could be big problems.
Should I roll again for sense motive, or...
Go ahead.
Seems a little more genuine, but...
Yeah, so he's skirting around whatever this thing is in the box, but what he's saying does seem like he's trying to tell you the truth. Like, he doesn't want to tell you what's in the box, just that, like, if you do this, you need to be careful with the box, and that you need to, like, not express, like, that this is valuable, while at the same time that you're trying to recover the box. Which seems kind of like it might be counterintuitive to itself, because you showing up as a military member asking about this box kind of inflates the value automatically.
Yeah.
But I feel that time is of the essence. If he finds the wrong buyer or the right buyer, things could be a problem.
Because he wouldn't even know what he's selling.
Yes. And if the guards get it, the guards are going to want to open it, which is going to create a whole bag of worms for them, or... Bag of worms? What? Well, worm, W-U-R-M.
Pretty big bag.
Yes. But we are talking about catastrophic problems if the wrong person is using what is within that bag. But I need it to be a little below the radar.
Fair enough. This isn't some sort of like crazy evil thing that I have to worry about later on coming back and having to deal with it then, is it? Because I don't really feel like doing all that.
I'm not dealing in evil. I am a arcane researcher, and he has a very important component in something that I'm working on for my research. And, well, I know how to handle it in my lab most effectively. if someone who wanted it to be used for leveling a town or causing great disturbance to the world outside or creating a nice big problem for the military, it has the potential to be used for that. I'm already kind of putting myself on a line here telling you, but you seem like a more willing to negotiate kind of fellow.
You could say so. You wouldn't happen to be one of those types of people then, huh? The whole leveling the town kind of thing.
I have no interest in leveling the town. I really just wish to finish my research. I'm so close to a breakthrough. And if I get this breakthrough, I assure you I can reward you substantially.
Two of my favorite words. So, do you know who took it, where they're at?
That is something I'm not quite sure of. I can tell you where the package was, and that it's only been a few hours since he stole the package.
All right. Sure, why not?
Okay. So
You said you wanted to show me some memories?
Yeah. So for proof, he can take you to a nearby little building that is labeled on it Seer. And inside, somebody will give you a share memory where he needs to... he's got a will save because he doesn't want to give too much info.
Oh, yeah.
So you get the details of him kind of coming up to a specific point, seeing this medium-sized package that's about to be delivered, and somebody kind of runs into the guy who's placing the delivery and manages to scoop up the package in the process and then takes off running with this package. And neither of them can manage to chase after it. And as you notice the delivery person start to shout for the guards, you notice he comes up and kind of muffles the delivery person. He's like, no, don't tell the guards. Remember, tell no one about the package.
Did I happen to get a decent look at the guy who took the package and the guy who
in this memory? Go ahead and give me a perception. Very good. You have a good idea for what this person looks like. You're pretty sure at the very least you could spot somebody who either is him or looks very close to him.
And he sees the memory he's sharing with me, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I guess I wouldn't recognize outright where in town this is, right?
No, not necessarily. He'll guide you back to where it all occurred.
Yeah, I'll ask him where it happened at.
Yep. So he guides you back there, and he says it was right here.
All right. I'll try to follow where this guy was going.
All right. Give me a survival as track.
Ooh, I get to add bonuses to this probably.
You do. Nice. So yeah, you're very clearly able to see, to most people who are looking at this situation, they would probably look at this and there'd be nothing here. Nothing of value. There's no, the tracks would be hard to identify. However, you kind of, lean in, and you, take a slight, drag of your finger across the ground, and you notice just enough of a difference in, what difference it's made on the ground itself. There's just the lightest amount of dust. One of the things you've come to know about, being on the plains is there's always a little bit of something that ends up laying on the land, and each footprint kind of picks up just enough of that as people go, and it's unnoticeable to some people, but not necessarily unnoticeable to you. And you start to kind of follow along the tracks.
I'll try to look as inconspicuous as I can, following a guy in the middle of the open.
It's really hard. Give me a stealth, but it's at a -10 because you're trying to sneak around while looking at the ground for the most minute of details.
Of course, that's what I roll my 19 on.
I mean,
I mean,
you're moving pretty stealthily though as you do this. Like you're looking very inconspicuous. Every little while you kind of like glance down and you're like, still there. And I believe track is for an hour of tracking. 1 sec, let me make sure I have the numbers right here. Follow tracks. Yeah, for like a mile. So yeah, you will make your way to. It eventually goes down an alleyway, and to a side door of a building. Oh, we lost John. Come back! Come back!
do I
We need you. There he is.
Well, my
Right.
Discord has crashed.
Yeah, good job, Discord. Go ahead, Cassius.
Oh, do I recognize the area of town at all? Roughly.
No, you don't really have a good feel for this town quite yet. I think. Give me a knowledge local. Let's see if maybe you can remember it.
That's
Do you have any ranks in knowledge local? No, so you don't really pick up details of towns. You're more of a big picture guy, not a little picture guy.
I'm in town.
Yeah, you know what town you're in, guaranteed. You're like, oh yeah, I'm definitely in Cominster right now. I'll show you on this
alright.
big map where I am.
I'll like kind of look around and see if there's any landmarks or anything that I would notice, like any specific buildings or.
If you spend a little time studying the area, you can get a good idea for where you are in town to get back to it within the next like hour or so.
Yeah, like anything unique, like that I might not find on every block or anything like that.
Yeah, you'll find a couple of little details. There's not a lot of memorable stuff here. It's like in a less dense like area of town full of signs and stuff like that. It's a very kind of plain area, almost like you're maybe in like a residential area or maybe like an industrial. Unless it can't really be industrial. A lot of the houses are very plain, or a lot of the buildings are very plain. But a lot of the buildings in this town are kind of plain, just in general.
Kind of enough to like if I explained it to somebody who lived here, they might be able to show me where I'm at. Roughly.
Yeah, you could identify it from a couple of the markings on the doors. Do you speak Dwarven?
No, but I have been taking points in linguistics. I don't think I have Dwarven.
Okay.
I have Draconic and Gnomish.
Okay. So yeah, you won't quite. You'll recognize that there's symbols on each of the buildings that are different, but they're not all the same. But they look very similar-ish.
Okay.
So you can try to kind of remember what you're seeing on these things. Same with the streets. There are kind of signs on some streets, but again, in Dwarven, so a little hard to comprehend what they might mean.
Do I recall anything about the other street signs being in Dwarven, or is it like
Give me a
thing?
linguistics actually. So you will realize that as you've been roaming about town, the signs, all of the like street related signs are in Dwarven, and they're often like non-dwarves will mispronounce the names of these streets all the time as like what they think the street is supposed to say in that Dwarven language, but like the dwarves will speak it much more plainly.
Note to self: I need to go at some point buy a book on Gnomish and Dwarven so I can study this.
I mean,
I don't
there's
like being
someone
left
that might be able to help you with one of those.
That's true. I don't like being left out of of all the conversations with the gnomes. And dwarves are particularly relevant at the moment, and seems like a pretty good base language to use my linguistics point on. But all right, I'll kind of like. You said this was just like a door.
Yeah.
Just like a random unmarked door.
There's a random unmarked door on the side of a building down an alleyway.
Oh, that's not suspicious at all. I'll Can I do like a perception check to see if I hear anybody nearby or like in the room, like through the door, or anything like that?
Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception. Yeah, you don't quite hear anything on the other side.
There doesn't seem to be a lot of foot traffic around here.
No. Not at all. It seems very, very quiet here.
Alright, I'll try to slowly open up this door.
Okay. Give me a stealth check. Damn. You go to twist the door, and it's
Oh,
locked.
okay. So I have all the decks, that's right.
But you're sure, like, you twisted it just softly enough that nobody should have noticed.
I'm not very adept in unlocking doors.
Perhaps there's another way in.
Yeah, I'll kind of meander around the building and kind of keep an eye on it. And
Yeah. Give me a perception.
see what kind of windows or whatnot
Okay.
there are.
You will notice that there is a window around the side of the building that is ajar. Just slightly. But enough.
Okay. We'll kind of like peek inside a little bit. And
Yep. Give me another perception as you kind of glance in. Damn. Smoke in these.
yeah, finally getting good rolls on my perception.
You can see that the room is empty. Inside, it's like a small room with a little table and a little book on it. Or a desk and a little book on it. Chair seated behind it. There's like a little quill next to the book. But the quill is kind of laying off to the side, and you can see it's dripped a bit of ink onto the table. And the door behind it is closed. There's a few other papers on the desk as well, but they're a little hard to see with the very minimal light that's coming into the room from the sky above, especially in the alleyway you're in. It's kind of like the shadows aren't really giving you a lot of sight, and the room otherwise looks very dark. You can only make out kind of very either close objects or very large objects.
I'll like how high off the ground is this window?
It's at body level. You could easily, if you could get the window open, you could climb yourself inside.
All right, I'll try to do that as stealthily as possible.
Okay, give me another stealth.
This smooth botch I'm about to roll.
Oh, you called it!
Jesus Christ!
You called it. Like, you start moving the window up, and you're doing, like, a really fine job until it...
I'm gonna try to move away from the view of the window as best I can when I hear that.
Yep, you step away from the window. But give me a perception.
Oh, yeah.
But you hear nothing.
All right.
Almost like you're the luckiest piece of shit ever.
I think I'll try that again. Did I open it all the way?
Yeah, you managed to get it open all the way. It squeaked at like that very last little distance that you were opening it. Should get some good music going for this. Where do I have?
You said the whole room is covered in darkness?
It is very dark on the inside, yes.
Man, I'm so tempted to cast light in this room so badly. Yeah, I'll just try to sneak in and not screw it up this time. JK, roll the 3.
Okay. You slip in. And yeah, you are inside. Inside it is quite dark, but you can see a little bit more of the papers. The papers appear to be written in give me a linguistics, right? Did you say you spoke Gnomish?
That was the one I took last level.
Okay. So you can get a pretty clear idea of at least some of the keys to what this is. You realize that you are looking at possibly like a ledger of sorts. It has some items. It has like a name on it, then like, a dollar amount, and then a name. But like in like parentheses next to the item, there's like a description and then a dwarven combination of things. Give me another linguistics check as you see that.
Interesting.
But you're not really sure what that correlates to.
It's in Dwarven and Gnomish.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't happen to see that box anywhere around here. That would be too convenient, wouldn't it?
It would be too convenient.
All right. I'll kind of try to make my way around the room and like search it as best I can without really like going through anything.
That's fine. You won't
Too
find the
much.
box. You won't find the box in this room or any other real relevant details.
Okay. I'll go. I guess I'll kind of go up to where the other door is and see if I can hear anything on the other side.
Yep. Give me a perception. You can hear movement, but then you hear it stop, and it sounds like it's directly on the opposite side of this door.
All right. I'll try not to move as much as possible and kind of hold my breath and try to see if
Give me a stealth check and a perception.
Oof.
Okay. This is so interesting. So you don't hear anything on the other side of the door.
I'm gonna continue to wait.
All right. How long are you gonna wait?
I'll give it a couple minutes
Okay.
as best I can.
Give me another stealth and another perception.
See if I can outlast whatever it is I heard on the other side. Ooh,
Oh.
not very stealthy, but
So you hear on the other side of the door like a shit. Did you hear that? The shit. Okay.
yeah.
Uh,
He's like on the opposite side of where I'm at, I'm guessing.
yeah,
right?
like you're both leaned up against the
Wait.
same wall. The door is right there. Like it's kind of like a between a door Mexican standoff. I guess is that not PC calling it a Mexican standoff?
I'm sure there's
just a
more
standoff.
PC. Yeah, that's probably the easiest way to. Yeah, never thought about that. I'm kind of upset about it.
But then you see the handle start to turn a little bit.
All right, I'm gonna kind of wait here. I'm gonna. Can I ready an action for when he comes in?
Yeah, give me one more stealth check as well, as you
Okay.
like start to draw your weapons. Ooh. The door opens, and he starts to move through, seemingly completely unaware of where you've gone in this room. Give me your ready to attack.
All right. I'm not trying to kill this guy, I guess.
He is denied his dex, so he does not know you're there, and you have the advantage of surprise.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll bludgeon him a few times.
You only get one attack on a ready. So
Oh, yeah, my bad. Plop. I guess that would be what.
no,
I
we'll
do.
take your 25. For 6 points. So you like knock him across the back of the head, and for a moment, like he's like looking around, really confused, and then he turns to notice you standing there. And let me have you give me initiative.
All right. You just want me to roll it off my sheet?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're just looking to see who rolls higher.
Oof.
So he is going to go first. However, you are not flat-footed because you are well aware that he is standing right here in front of you. And he is going to take a quick dagger jab at you. Oops. Ooh, crit threat.
Arg! Me no likey. Likey
Does
no
a
likey.
24 confirm?
Yeah,
Oh, the sad part is this is very small damage.
that's okay, because I don't think that we've healed up since we had that encounter.
Speed plus this. Should get this right. For 18. So he gets a good like jab right into your side, and you can feel like the blood starting to drip out of you very, very rapidly.
Alright.
It is your action.
Alright, shit, I don't think I have any kind of... I do have a little bit of intimidate. I guess I could try to diplomacy him. I don't know how well that would work.
I mean, he's stabbing you outright.
That's fair. Yeah, yeah. I'll just continue to bludgeon him.
All right, give me those attacks.
That should be accurate.
You wail on him. You slam one arm, like as he's got the dagger jabbed in you. You bring an arm across with your Atlas in hand, and it just like smacks part of your hand, part of the Atlas right across his face. And like you go to bring back another one, bring it back across him, and that misses. But as he's like dodging that, you bring one up and like right across the lower part of his jaw, and he goes reeling back and falls to the floor.
Okay. Alright. Does he look unconscious or
Give me a heal check.
Alright. This is probably not gonna go over very well.
Yeah, could be alive, could be dead. Hard to tell. You're no doctor.
Cool. So, would I be able to... I guess, is there anything... There's not any like rope or anything around here that I saw, right?
No, not yet. It's very dark in here.
All right.
Had he not have come into this room, this fight probably would not have been to your advantage.
Yeah, I wasn't about to go in there and fight him, especially since I forgot to heal up. I guess what I'll do is I'll take one of my Atlases and I'll put his arms behind his back, and I'll use the 20 foot of cord to kind of try to tie it off as best I can.
Okay.
And then I will. You know what? I'll do the same with his feet too.
Okay.
And then I will.
Now these are your non-+1s, right? I don't think you heard, but you now have +1 Atlases as well.
Oh no, I forgot about that. Those are
You still have your old ones, so you can easily do that with the old ones and keep the...
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I mean, the attack bonus and stuff. So I added his.
You actually would have had one more, and that would just make him a little further down.
Well, because what I had before were
Masterwork, but that doesn't apply a bonus to damage, so you would have dealt 2 extra damage to him.
Oh, yeah, okay. I
or 3 extra damage to him. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought you meant. Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. So what I'll do is I will use the regular one for that. And then I will drink this cure moderate wounds potion I have.
Okay. 2d8 plus 3.
All right. Eight.
Huh? Better than nothing.
14. Yeah. Basically double my
All right, so
double
as you drink the potion, you can feel like the bleeding start to subside, but it still stings a bit.
All right. Yeah, that brings me back up to that. I'll like look into the other room and see if I'm assuming it's just as dark, right?
It's pitch black in the other rooms.
But I didn't hear anything that would lead me to believe that there's any more than just one person in there, right?
No, you only heard one set of footsteps.
Okay, so what I'll do is I will I'll take out my Wayfinder,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll use the light spell on it on the other side of the door, so I'm not directly in the doorway in case somebody is in there.
Okay.
And then I'll try to I'll look around in this room, and then I'll look around in that room.
Okay. There's nothing really extra in this room. As you move into the other room, there's a small hallway with a room down at the end of the hallway and another room directly across from the one that you're in.
All right. I'm gonna move his body into the other room
Okay.
so I can keep an eye on it. And then I'll go up to the. I'll try to go up to these other doors and see if I can hear anything in there.
Give me a perception.
I'll pick back up my Wayfinder before I go over there.
Yep.
Don't want to completely give myself away.
It sounds like there's no one there.
In either of the other doors.
No, there's only one other door. The other thing ends in the other one ends in an open room.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check the other areas and keep an eye on him as best I can.
Which one are you checking first? The room to the left or the room straight ahead?
I'll check the door, the closed door.
That
That's
door
closer, right?
that door is unlocked.
Kind of peek around in there and.
Okay. Give me a perception. Take a look through the room. This room has a fairly small bed that's a little bit dirty. It has a small chest a small wardrobe up against one wall. And there's clothing kind of strewn throughout the room. And also,
one bed?
One bed.
One bed. Okay.
Yep. And also, you notice that there is a small box or a medium-sized box sitting on top of the bed.
One that fits the description that I saw.
You can only assume it looks like what you saw.
Yeah, I realized that I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, yeah." I'll make sure that he's on his stomach, so that if he's trying to do anything with his hands, I can see what's going on.
Yep.
And then I guess I'll check out the other room first.
Okay.
Why?
The other room is kind of an open, kind of common room. There's a small couch that's in there. Some books on a mostly empty shelf. And a small fireplace that has not been lit in a while. There's a couple of pans and some glass and some cups that are kind of laying about the room, very haphazardly.
And nobody else is in there though.
No.
Okay, good. I'll go back and make sure. I'll see if he's still looks like he's unconscious at least.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's out.
All right. I guess I'll do a perception check on him, see if there's any anything that stands out.
Sure. I'll give you a perception here.
Tattoos or markings or anything that
So you look him over, and he actually does have a very pronounced tattoo on the back of his neck. It is some kind of symbol in Gnomish. You would know it as the symbol for darkness.
Huh. Interesting.
He also happens to have his dagger laying on the ground next to him, or where he fell down, and you can feel he has quite a bit of coin on him.
He had quite a bit of coin on him.
Yes. Well, has had.
Well, yes. Now he has.
Now you're liberating it.
Yeah. Does the dagger look like a regular dagger, or?
It looks like a. It is. Give me a. Do you have a praise?
Actually, I don't.
It's a little hard to. You can. I'll let you take an.
I'll grab it. I'll just grab it and have somebody look at it.
Yeah.
Along with the coin to make sure that the coin's not cursed or anything.
Yep.
Then I will I'll go grab the thing from the other room.
Okay. You pick it up, and how
Well,
are you?
actually, can I search and like see if it's been like opened at all? Or,
Yeah, you can look over the box pretty well and identify that it has not been opened. Give me a. I'm gonna have you give me a perception here.
Okay.
Okay, so you start to like turn the box over, and you notice like the weight in the box seems a little off balance, and you like kind of steady your hand, and in your mind you hear like it's got to be taken very good care of, and so you like stop, and you're turning it, and you're like, I think it's well enough sealed. You maybe lift it up a little bit just to be somewhat sure, but very carefully lower it back down.
All right. I guess I'll he still looks like he might be out, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'll move him over to his bed, and then
Okay.
I'll take my stuff off of him, and then I'll grab the thing and carefully, or try to hide it as best I can, and carefully. Did he give me a meeting point to meet him at, or?
Just back at where he was.
Okay.
Back at his
Then
place.
I'll
Because otherwise
go
it just
back.
looks like you're a courier returning a package.
Yeah. Okay. And I'll try to do that.
Okay. Give me a dex check as you're trying to kind of place him back on his bed. Okay, so you're like starting to put him on the bed, and you rest him down very carefully on the bed, and he starts to slip a little, and he like bumps against the box, but you manage to like bring your arm down and grab the box before it can fall. But you get him into the bed a little bit sloppily, but into the bed.
Oh, I just wanted to make sure that he was in there so that I could keep an eye on him when I leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I guess I'll just head out.
Okay.
I'll avoid the window because that seems like it requires a dex check or some of some
Okay,
kind.
so you coming out the front or the side door? The side door, I actually forgot this. On the other end of the hall is where the other door is. There was one more door that would have led out into the alleyway. That was my mistake in forgetting that
it
door was
also
there.
leads out to the alleyway.
Yes.
I will go out the one that I know that I've been by, the one that
Okay.
I like.
Yeah, so you can
That I
unlock the
know it's
alleyway
not
door
on
and head out.
traffic.
You can actually have grabbed his keys if you want to as well, because he does have his keys on him.
I don't care. I mean, I guess I guess I'll grab them.
Okay. Yeah, and you can take this box down the road. Give me a perception as you're wandering down the road. Good roll. Very important roll. Because you notice as you're walking down the road, it was hard to see in the dark, but you notice you are covered in his blood. Like when you lifted him up and you were carrying him over there, like you can see like where his head was probably resting, and there had to have been like blood just dripping down his mouth, and there's just like this stain of blood that rolls down your chest. And there's like blood all over your arms from where you picked him up, and there were like stains of blood all over him.
Oh. Do I notice that?
You notice
before I
it
get
like right as you get into the alleyway, as the light starts to hit you a little bit better, you're like, oh, crap.
Okay, I'll, is anybody else in this alleyway?
No,
Okay. I'll, quickly head back in and, check his, wardrobe that's in his room.
Yep, there's lots of clothes here. They don't quite fit you well. But you could probably manage to hobble something together that's a little too small for you.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'll try to, hobble something that looks inconspicuous as best I can.
Yep, give me a disguise untrained.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So you managed to get enough things that like you could pull off like you're deliberately wearing these short. And you can make your way back to the location.
All right.
When you drop it off, the gentleman waiting there is very excited, and he takes it from you. I can either pay you now less, or I can pay you a lot more if this is successful.
Well, I think I'm going to need a little bit of more information about what you mean by if this is successful to know what I'm getting into.
May I put this inside, please?
Yeah.
Okay, so he really quickly unlocks his door, opens it, sets the box inside, sets the container inside, closes and locks the door.
We're inside of this like safe house or something.
He doesn't really seem to want to let you in. Like, he very clearly opened the door, put his box inside, and then closed and relocked the door, like, all in the same action. Well, I can't share what I'm working on in the event that somebody looks in here, and he's like taps on your head.
In case somebody reads my mind.
But what I'm working on might forever change some of the way we think about magic. And this is the last piece of that puzzle. I have some money left from the research money I've been given by the Arcane Council, but I don't have a lot of it.
Do I recognize the Arcane Council?
Give me a knowledge history.
You sure that's not a nature, right?
No. If you don't have any ranks in knowledge history, you can't make the check. Because you need more than a DC 10 to... Actually, no, go ahead and give me knowledge history. You can still do this. DC's 10. No idea.
That's concerning.
Now you just don't care about magic stuff, so there's not really a reason you would know about it.
Yeah. Well, I was just kind of curious because I wanted to know if I was trying to glean that I could get like any information about like the alignment of them or not.
I'll make you a deal. Within the next few hours, he reaches down and he takes out a bag and he gives you a bag of some coins. If you come back to here in a few hours and give me back this bag, I'll take it as you wanting to invest in my experimentation. If you keep the bag and you don't return, then you'll hear news about me in the future, one way or another.
How worried do I have to be about this experimentation? I'm just going to ask him about it. I'm like, not even going to bother beating around the bush.
Again, it will cause no one else harm. It may cause myself harm, which is where the liability comes in terms of your post-payment.
Some with like ley lines or something like that.
It does involve an interaction between a location of some amount of ley energy, yes.
I'm sitting here using all my buzzwords that I know about magic.
But you're asking more questions than I feel comfortable asking. It's going to still take me several days before I complete this.
You said a couple hours?
Couple hours, and you can upgrade, if you wish, if you want to take a chance.
Is this one of those come alone situations, or...?
You can bring... If you have an expert on the subject, you can bring them along, but only one.
Alright. Sounds good.
Alright. So, where did the party agree to meet up?
I don't think we said any.
We agreed to meet up.
At the cart, I thought. Weren't we supposed to meet at the cart after?
Well, the cart is just dropping off the guy at where he'll get what he needs to get his cart back up and running.
Well, I'll meet up at the cart because I know Pierre will be there. And
where is the cart?
Oh, biscuits. We've been here before, right?
Yes.
What's the inn? Do I remember where the inn is we stayed at last time?
Yes, you do.
Because I'm gonna just default there if I
That was where you were on your way to anyway. So.
Perfect.
All right. I'm assuming the rest of you would probably, upon realizing like you hadn't set a meetup point, would assume the inn is probably a safe place to find everybody.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if I can.
I'm just following Sphinx Zara when she leaves the library because she's proven to know where places are in the town.
If they aren't there yet by the time I get there, I'm gonna leave a message for them and then go find a place that has some better fitting clothes.
Okay. Yeah, so you can go get yourself a change of clothes. Go ahead and drop 5 gold for that.
I'm gonna get something fancy.
Okay. That's why I was saying 5 as opposed to 5 silvers. But
Yeah,
you
Want
guys,
that courier's outfit we couldn't sell.
you guys all kind of meet up probably about the same time. I think Arius might arrive there right before Cassius does, but Cassius, you can tell Arius like you'll be back and you'll like let him know that you're just gonna run and get some different clothes. Because Arius, when Cassius shows up, he is definitely not wearing his own clothes.
I'm bulging out of my clothes.
Do you drink one of those enlarged person potions? By accident there, Cassius?
I did drink a potion, but that wasn't it.
Interesting.
But my other clothes are a little unsightly, and probably best I don't walk around town looking like that at the moment. So until I
Do
can
you
find
have a little
somebody,
accident?
you could say that.
Nothing
I'll
to be ashamed about, Cassius.
I'll let you know what's going on as soon as I get back. Unless you want to clean up my clothes for me.
No. I think you can handle that.
If nobody else is around, I'll just kind of like show him a little bit of the my actual clothes that are all bloodied up.
Yeah. There's a little bit of blood that's kind of coming down his chest and his neckline as well, but it's like well enough covered by what he's wearing so that it's not visible. And there's a little bit of like red spatter on his arms, but it's also kind of lightly covered up.
Am I able to tell if that's his blood or?
You can, as you look as he's like showing you things, you'll notice that there's like some blood that's kind of running down his side. That's probably his because it's coming from underneath the clothes.
Conveniently coming from a wound I just received.
Are you all right? What happened?
Better
Are you
than
gonna
I'm
fill
assuming
me
the
in?
other guy is.
Ooh, do we
It's,
need to leave town ASAP or what?
I don't think so.
Okay, why don't you go get cleaned up and change your clothes and then fill us in what happened?
Yeah. Do you know? Did I run across any tailors or anything around?
You can find one pretty quickly.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I'll go find somebody that has something like in my size, like roughly, and like something I can just get real quick, and then go back into my room and I'll buy a room for the night or whatever.
No problem. So,
just so I can have somewhere to change.
Zeke and Sphinx will likely show up at the inn shortly after that. Mal, you probably actually have Pierre with you since you were going shopping for things to attach to the cart.
Yeah, I would need Pierre to come pick up thing. I also, again, still need to find just raw lead.
Yep.
Just something that I can work into armor.
So lead is relatively inexpensive here. Let's see.
By the way, before I leave, I'll make sure to let Arius know that I did want to talk to him when I get back.
Okay.
About the magic stuff.
No problem.
He seems like he knows a little bit about magic.
I think Sphinx knows more, but
Does she?
I think so.
Well, maybe a little bit.
Mine's only a +8 to knowledge arcana.
Well, you guys both have knowledge arcana, and that's more than I have, so I have spellcraft. Ooh, that's...
I have knowledge arcana.
Oh yeah, you do. That makes sense that you would.
Yep.
So you'll probably one way or another need, if you're gonna do this as equipment, this is probably to get enough lead that is going to be workable enough and the right tools, the right additional stuff to go along with it. It's probably going to cost you around 100 gold if you wanted to do this at regular level, or around around 300 gold if you want to do it at masterwork level.
I'd ask Zeke.
I'm sorry, 200. I'm sorry, this would be 200 or 400 because regular chain is about 100 gold.
I'd ask Zeke which he wants at dinner.
Okay. All right, so you'll meet up with him. You'll meet up with everybody at the tavern. Cassius is not there, but Arius is sitting there as you guys arrive. Obviously, Zeke and Spinks, you are there first.
Yeah, when I get there, I'm going to make sure to give the guy my measurements so that he knows what to look for. Because that, of course, is something that I would know offhand.
He'll measure you up and get you something that fits.
Fair
Then
enough.
Mal, you'll show up shortly after to know Cassius. So I don't know if Spinks and Zeke have anything they wanted to discuss with Cassius, but you have or not Cassius, with Arius. But you have a few minutes alone with him before Mal and Cassius will show back up. If not, then Mal, you can show up and let them know anything you need to let them know, or wait for Cassius.
I don't think I'd have anything specific for Cassius. I would just look at you, Zeke, and just say, I think I finally have the facility to maybe help you with your wizard problem for the time being. It's a matter, I guess, of how fine you want the armor made, sort of things. There'll be cost implications. I don't think time-wise, I think I can make it pretty quickly regardless.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd prefer maybe something that I can get enchanted later on.
Okay. So you would prefer like a masterwork quality level?
Yeah, if you're able to do that, absolutely.
Yeah. It's just like a matter of cost. I want to like make a high cost project if it wasn't worth it for you. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I need to know.
Okay.
And if the party's together, I'm gonna let them know the laws I looked up real quick.
Yep. Very good. Cassius will show back up. You can let everybody know the info. Mal, I'm assuming you then share out everybody's cut of the gold.
Yep.
Cassius, you're going to take a look at either of those two bags you've got?
I'm assuming we've got like a small space where we're kind of secluded from the rest of the
Yeah,
place,
you guys can kind of sit off to the back, and people tend to give the military a pretty like wide berth of space. So there's like a table between a full table of space between you and the rest of the people in the tavern.
Yeah, I'll pull out the guy, not the bag of money that I pilfered off the guy, and the dagger that belongs to him.
Okay.
And I'll kind of check the dagger out a little more and see if anybody knows anything about this. So
he lays a dagger out on the counter. Are you going to explain anything about this, or are you just going to throw it down on the counter? Like, hey, here's a dagger, guys. What up?
I'll let it sit for a second, and then I'll start to explain it, and then I'll also make sure to point out the tattoo on the back of the guy's neck and what it looked like.
Okay.
To see if anybody has any idea.
You pause for a little bit of dramatic tension as you drop the bag and the dagger on the counter. The dagger has like a bit of blood still drying on it as he sets it down, and the bag has is covered in a thick layer of blood. And it kind of splurts on the table as he drops it.
So you might be wondering what's going on with all of this. I ran into somebody who hired me. I guess wanted to hire me to beat up a guy and steal something that was stolen from him. And he said he was a what kind of historian was he again? He was an artifact historian.
He didn't say it was he didn't say it was a historian.
I thought he said.
No.
I thought he was some kind of historian.
He's part of the shit. Now that you're putting me on the spot, he's part of the.
I know he mentioned.
I keep wanting to say Arcane Society, but that's not exactly it.
I thought that was, but that might be close enough to it that I can't remember if that was
Yeah,
exactly it.
you're. It's one of those like I had it. It was running, and then you hit me with it, and now I'm like.
My
blanking
bad.
on it, but that's okay. No, that's
Like,
on me. This is my own mental.
Because he described himself as some kind of vague thing having to do with like artifacts or magic.
Yes,
or
he
something
messes
like that.
he messes around with what the things that you can do with like magical energy and experimentation.
Yeah, and I'll kind of explain that, like what he told me and like the vision he shared, and then kind of briefly like what happened when I went in there and how I got stabbed, and I'm not sure if that guy's dead or not. I'll kind of I'm not worried about that part, but yeah, like the ledger he had, and how some of it was in Dwarven, some of it was in Gnomish. There were prices next to it, so maybe it was like stealing stuff and selling it, and then kind of like give the best description of the box I can. I don't know if it really matters, but and then kind of let him know that I'm gonna go back and meet him in a couple hours, and said I could bring somebody with me that knows more about these magics than I do, but only one person. So
you
anybody's
didn't look
interested.
in the box?
No, but it also seemed like one of those things that I don't think I would have been able to open up without destroying it. Because he had some kind of I'll like describe what it looked like. Did it look like?
Yeah, he had like a big like it was like a big circular amulet that had a like blue sapphire in the center of it that like glowed ever so slightly when he like showed it to you, and then he put it back away.
Yeah, he had that and said it was the key. I guess I could have tried to like look and see if I could have opened it, but
I also wasn't precise enough when I said he like used his keys. His keys is the necklace that he has to open up this door and then close it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll make sure to mention that too about when I went and saw him. I mean, I've still got the guy's house keys, and I'm not sure the condition that he's in, especially given the amount of blood that he left on me when I moved into his bed. But
What's his name?
that's a good question. I wasn't intending to kill him if that's what happened. I was just going there and trying to get the thing back. But I don't know. He never gave me his name, did he? I should have probably asked.
The guy didn't know his name, or do you mean the wizard?
The wizard, yeah.
You did not ask the wizard's name.
You know what? That's a good question. I'll make sure to ask him that when I go back. I'll give like he didn't have any like anything that like stood out to me, any like disfigurements or anything, right?
No, he was a pretty normal looking dwarven guy.
Dwarf didn't really like stand out too much, but didn't get his name. Probably should have, but yeah. So that's what I've been up to. If anybody wants to join, if any single person wants to join me, I'll be leaving out around whatever time. Like I'll say whatever time it was that I'd be leaving out.
Okay.
Is this like typical behavior for military? Like, are we allowed just to do like side jobs and shit without like letting our commander know? Like, I just want to know like how do I have knowledge of like what Cassius is doing?
Give me knowledge, nobility.
Yeah, I want to know if this is like.
I am noble.
All right, so in terms of protocol, it's up to the commanding officer to kind of decide in this case. There's nothing that really says he can't, but it's also like it's one of those like this isn't a breach of protocol per se, but it is on a very like this could reflect, if this is something bad, this could reflect very poorly on the military as a whole, so it might need to be punishable. But if he like did vet this properly and it is the right thing, maybe he should have reported to his commanding officer. But if there is a like limitation of time, there's maybe an excuse that like he could have taken that it would have been okay to have taken this action. But it's a really kind of gray thing in this particular case.
I will try to point out that, to the best of my ability, that I was trying to decipher whether or not he was going to do some evil shenanigans with this stuff. But I'm like, I didn't intend to like hide it or anything like that. I just, in the moment, I kind of did that, and then figured I'd come back and let everybody know what's going on with that.
Yeah,
Well,
I wonder what's in that box, because, man, if it turned out to be something as stupid as a soap sculpture.
Oh, God, that was awful. And
Sorry, guys, that
hilarious.
was a reference to a previous game.
Oh, that was great.
Figured. Cassius, I recommend you get the name of your supposed employer before you do these tasks next time, maybe.
You know
But,
what? Seems like a good idea. I'll make sure to remember that next time. Man, I can't believe I forgot to ask for his name.
So, do you trust this guy? You think he's on the up and up after you've done all these things so far, or what? What do you think?
Best I can tell, he seems like he's not evil, but I mean, I don't know really what his intentions are, and I'm trying to find out more of what his intentions are, because he did offer me a lump sum, or if I wanted to come back and bring this bag, I'll bring out the other bag.
Mhm. This bag thuds a little bit heavier when he drops it on the table.
I'll kind of like take a peek inside and see if there's anything unusual in there. Or if it's just a big old stack of money.
It's a big old bag of money.
He didn't tell me not to open it, right?
No.
Okay. I was kind of
that-
like, he said to bring this back, and then we can continue on with whatever's going on. I figured I would try to see if I could find out more information about what's happening, because he seemed gung-ho about changing the understanding of magic or something.
Let me just get this straight. He sent you to retrieve an item, and when you went to go get it, the person was already injured when you got there, or almost dead?
No, I went in there, and I snuck in there, and tried to see if I could find it, and my intentions were not to. I don't know if he's dead, but it very well could be, considering the amount of blood that he left on my clothes.
So you injured him.
Yes, I
Okay.
hit him. I tried to knock him unconscious, and then tried to question him, but yeah, he wasn't.
So you left the man
Responsive.
bleeding to death as you got your items?
I didn't realize that that I had as much blood on me until after I left.
This is not good. If this was an important, did you have any idea who this guy was? He might have been an important person or something.
That is I did. I was going to ask him.
Cassie, it
I
seems like
actually did. No, I did intend to ask him, and I tried to find out who he was. Then I found a stab wound in my side, and thought that since he hadn't healed up since last battle, self-preservation was probably key.
For sure. I'm just saying I've done my share of shady shit, so now it's your turn, I guess. So.
Oh yeah, no, this is less shady shit and more stupid. Well, not shady on my part as much as it is stupid on my part. I'll own up to that much.
This is quite the pickle here.
But I know where he lives, and I have his keys.
Well, that's a
So
start.
if we need to go back there, and if anybody wants to take a look at this ledger that might know Dwarven and Gnomish, I don't know as much as I'd like to admit, but
Sounds like a Spingsara. You're pretty good with all the languages, aren't you?
Did you mention that it was in Gnomish and Dwarvish?
He
or
did
just-
mention it. That it was in both. That the book was in both Gnomish and Dwarven.
Well, I can at least help with the Dwarven part.
I can help
And,
with the gnomish part.
oh,
I
perfect.
also
Wait a
think
minute.
We shouldn't leave someone. I also think we shouldn't leave someone dying in a bed. This isn't what we do as the military, is like kill unarmed citizens or citizens that you could probably dispatch very easily.
Yeah, we should
Yeah.
probably rush back there like right now.
He
I
wasn't.
can
He wasn't unarmed. Just to.
I know.
Pierre.
He was
Pierre,
only-
Pierre points this out because Pierre's kind of sitting there and didn't quite realize like that you guys did this kind of thing. So he's a little bit startled.
Pierre, you speak when spoken to. No, I'm joking.
Hey,
Okay,
if you don't
I'll say
participate in the
Pierre,
hot
for a
seat,
moment,
you don't
like
get to-
as you make that statement.
No, I was just joking.
No. You make that statement as a joke at the table, and Pierre like freezes for a moment, And Cassius, give me a sense motive.
He's scared for his life. He doesn't need a sense of.
Oh.
There is something about the fear that fills Pierre's face when Arius makes that statement that seems as though, like, for a moment, Pierre relives a part of his life and like, seems very hollow for a moment as he utters back the reply of, ha, ha, ha.
Where is he? Is he sitting like next to me, or?
He was kind of like standing off to the side of the table near where you were sitting.
Oh, is there not like enough seats or anything, or?
No, there's plenty of seats. Pierre just doesn't really feel comfortable like
I'll
sitting.
I'll offer him to sit down and buy him a drink and try to like ease him, I guess, because he seems really shook by that. I think he was just
okay.
fucking with you.
Pierre, I was just joking. Calm down. I like
yes.
to joke around.
Yes, joking. Yes. I understand
Alright.
jokes.
That's not suspicious at all.
Is there something you want to talk about, Pierre?
You're a most funny man, Arius.
Did I trigger some post-traumatic stress with you? Sounds like it feels like I did.
I'm just not comfortable necessarily with people telling me that I can only speak when spoken to. But it's fine. It's my own things. It's my own things.
Oh, don't listen to this idiot. He's not in charge. He's not even a second in command.
Cassius.
I don't really understand your chain of order, because there's nobody really seems to have sort of a direct commanding role per se.
I'll just point to Mal. If he starts yelling at somebody, they fucked up.
Mal, you yell at people?
Generally
typically.
not, but you know, when people go off and kill random citizens, it might be something that I'm very much contemplating.
Understandably so. In my defense, it was self-defense, and it was not intentional, but we
Wait.
can go back there. I roughly know...
Yeah, I think we should go back right now.
Let's go do that.
I kind of describe the area roughly and
Yeah. All right.
see if anybody knows what we're talking about, or if they're not, I'll go talk to the barkeep and see if he.
Shall I wait here and keep everything in order? I probably shouldn't take the cart to some undisclosed location where you've potentially killed a man. Yes.
That would be good, Pierre. Yes.
Still,
Just keep watch over the cart.
Oh, that's
We'll
right,
be back at the inn shortly, hopefully.
Will do.
Thanks. Ready your heal spells if you need to.
All right. Yeah. The five of you can make your way over to this little house. Are you gonna go in through the front or through the side?
I'll point out the door that I went through before.
Okay. So you'll take them around through the alleyway and then over to the door.
And let them know that I haven't gone through the other door, so I don't know if it's trapped or anything like that. And I'll
unlock it and head on in.
yeah. And then I'll show them to where the.
Yep. The room is still pitch black.
I don't know how many like uses per day it has, but if it still can use
it's
light.
always going our ion torch.
No, he's got his wayfinder produces light. But yeah, you can turn on the light.
Because I can't remember specifically if it's once per day.
I mean, just use the ion torch. I mean, we got them.
That's fine. You guys can light it up however you want to.
I forgot we had those. Whatever works. Produces the most visible, but not like an obscene amount of light.
Yeah. You can activate the wayfinder as often as you want. It's just a command word and it comes on.
I tried to check if he was still alive, but I don't know much about healing.
Spinks, get over there. Can you see if this guy's alive?
So you guys head into the room. The bed is like the bed has like a pool of blood that's very clearly poured from his mouth.
I did hit him in the mouth.
Yeah, you got him like in the back of the head, and then you got him across the side, and then you like uppercutted him with an axe. Yeah, he took a lot of head trauma. But yeah,
unconscious. You just started beating on him.
You start to kind of notice why it is that you were hitting him a lot in the face. He is of gnomish stature.
Oh.
Something like in the heat of the moment, you were just kind of like moving bodies around, and it like wasn't quite like occurring to you. But it does explain why he had the symbol on the back of his neck that was in Gnomish.
He kept
Sphinx,
hitting him in the face because he realized he was a beholder.
you want to give me a heal check,
Just all
or do you
things.
just want to use some cures on him?
It wasn't a hate crime. I just want to point that out.
I'm gonna try and do a heal check.
Okay. I think that's... Is it 15? I think it's 15. You're coming up one short. Should be fun. Yeah, it would be 15. So you are not sure exactly what his condition is.
He's lost a lot of blood, Sphinxora. I think we should try and bring him back up. If he is some sort of criminal, we can turn him over to the someone other than like just whatever the local law enforcement is.
I'll mention that I'm gonna go check the other room,
Okay.
get the ledgers.
Yep,
And
you
then
can
I'll
go
go grab
scoop
the
up the
ledgers
ledger
too.
and the other papers and bring them back in. Sphinx, what are you gonna hit him with? Very good. That is enough to bring him to consciousness.
I'm also gonna
And like
I'm gonna
blood
close
just
the
like
window when I do that. By the way,
spits out of his mouth, all over the bed in front of him, as he kind of like opens his eyes. What happened?
I'm gonna close the window when I go in that room. By the way,
Okay.
if it's still open, I don't want people
Yeah.
walking in here.
What happened? Where am I?
Oh, good.
Who
He's
are
alive.
you?
Who are you?
So I want to direct this conversation.
I'm
I don't like the.
I'm like, relax, sit for a moment, regain your bearings. We don't mean you any more harm.
I'm cheery. Who are you?
Just take deep breaths. Can't even understand what you're saying, sir.
I'm Jerry Jakub. Who are you? Where am I? Somebody hit me really hard in the head, in the mouth. Where are my teeth?
You attacked one of my officers.
Somebody came in my house. Who came in my house? I was home, officer, and somebody came in my house.
Yes, we are unfortunately sorry about that. We were trying to follow up on some sort of complaint about theft. Would you know anything about that?
Theft. I don't like stealing. Stealing is bad. No, this dude is clearly lying.
Huh.
I hate stealing. People shouldn't steal.
Just one thing I don't like tolerating, sir. It is bullshit. So if you could cut it, that'd be great.
I don't know what you mean. I was having a quiet, peaceful time at home. I was gonna go through the paper, and then I heard a noise, and I went to check out what was going on, and then all of a sudden, I woke up here.
You had a stolen object in your home. Can you explain how that got there?
Stolen object? Oh, I must have bought something from the wrong person then, didn't I?
At this point, I'm just gonna be like, okay,
It's
You
just
can
gonna
either
be a
give us
lot.
straight answers, or we'll just turn you over to the guards and let them do what they will with you.
Oh, it must have been really important. If you need to turn me over to the guards on suspicion of theft, you must have a lot of proof.
A lot of ledgers, you could say.
What ledgers?
I don't know, with things written down and prices next to
That's
them.
my book
and
of fine collectibles. I advise people on what collectibles they might want to acquire, and I keep
I have
a ledger of those antiquities that they might be interested in, and whom they might be able to acquire them from.
I have a bag of fine collectibles. It's full of teeth of people who have lied to me. You want me to add to that?
Oh, what? Who? Oh, 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 teeth, yes. Yes, ledger.
Looks a little uneven. It looks like you have a few more on the top and the bottom. It might be easier to understand you if I even that out.
Give me an intimidate here.
Got like a, but swag.
If you hurt me further, you'll only make it more so that I tell the guards about you assaulting me. You don't have a right to come into my house and try to steal from me. I hate stealing. I hate it so much.
Oh, that reminds me. I don't want to take these clothes. I should probably give these back. I'll go ahead and give him back his clothes.
Wait, are you disrobing? What are you?
No, he's handing him the other clothes that he had. Hey,
The ones
Oh,
I
I
stole
thought-
from him.
those
You're
are.
taking your clothes.
I hate thieves. Why are you taking my clothing?
I was just borrowing them.
I don't.
You didn't say I couldn't.
What? What are you gonna do with me? Just turn me over to the guards?
Trying to assess whether you're a threat or not.
I'm
And
no
so far
threat.
you haven't given us a single honest answer. So, I guess you are someone who is so uncomfortable that they can't speak honestly to someone who's offering them a second chance.
I'm a noble halfling man, and I will have you know that I am speaking with truth. I help people find antiquities they'd be interested in.
Does he appear
Well-
like a noble when he says that?
No, his words were off at first when he was talking. His speech patterns have not been consistent with nobility. Like
Those were
the clothes
definitely
the
fine.
clothes you saw Cassius wearing were definitely not the clothes of a noble.
Yeah, those are definitely 5 silver
Yeah.
clothes at best. I'll while Mal is talking to this guy, I'm gonna kind of pull Sphinx aside and show her some of the ledgers, since she said she knows Dwarven.
So what in the ledgers you'll see, Sphinx, is you'll see like addresses, what look like addresses that you've seen about the town. The symbols of like Dwarven numerals and letters on doors, and like the names of the streets that you've seen around town.
Oh, that's all that's in Gnomish, basically.
That's all
I
that's
mean,
in Dwarvish. In Dwarven, yeah. In Gnomish, he knows the rest of it. The rest of it are like details of items. So there's like addresses attached to items. You now know, and then
gonna,
names and gold values attached to people.
It's like a stealing list. I'll let everyone know
And we lost
that he's not
Cassius.
a noble.
Okay. Oh, Discord, you are being extra obnoxious tonight.
Oh, did Ryan freeze?
Yep.
That's even Discord though. It's usually just computer crash or something.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's just a full-on Discord crash. There we go. He's back.
Okay. Is there anything that looks similar to the description of the box as far as the what's in
No,
Gnomish?
that is that nothing. The box is not listed in there.
Okay.
But is the address listed in there?
Now, what are we gonna do here, guys? Why can't I move?
I don't really approve of thieves, and I don't exactly know that if we let you go that you'll stop.
I don't approve of thieves. Wait. What do you mean? Let me what? Why wouldn't you let me go over to the authorities? Right? You turn me over to the authorities.
It's probably safer than your higher ups finding out about this, right?
When he just says just turn me over to the authorities, do I get some sort of impression that like he probably knows somebody and he's not actually afraid of getting punished?
Give me a sense motive here. That's rudimentary enough to know that, like, he does seem to not mind as much being turned over to the authorities. Like, he's repeated several times. And Cassius, you get the distinct idea that this guy feels like he'll be, like, tossed into the system and back out probably in some very, very short amount of time. Especially, like, that. The more you think about that tattoo, and the more you think about the fact that he's got writing in Dwarvish, or in Gnomish, says he's a halfling, and has a Gnomish tattoo on the back of his neck, doesn't add up at all.
Yeah.
In a place that has 0 gnome population.
It's an interesting. He appears to be gnomish. You said, right?
You from your linguistics would have recognized like some of his speech patterns, and some of the things about him seem a little more gnomish than they do halfling.
Oh, he was saying he was a halfling, though, right?
Yes.
Okay. It's an interesting gnomish tattoo for a halfling to have.
That's not a gnomish thing. That's a really cool tattoo. All the cool people have it.
These games tire me. Cassius, weren't you saying that fellow wanted to meet this guy if he wasn't cooperating? Maybe he'll start talking if we bring your friend in here?
What friend? I took a
Whoever you stole those things from, he said he wanted you out of the picture, but we wanted to talk to you first, but now maybe we should take you out of the picture.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to cooperate. Damn it.
I don't think you'd quite do that. He didn't even know who I was. Wait, god damn it.
Well,
You're tricking
no.
me up with these words.
You're right. We might not, but I'm sure that the guy you stole it from would love to know who you are and where you live.
I don't care about him. I'm sure he doesn't care about me. He's got whatever it is you're claiming I took from him back, I'm sure.
Maybe one of these other people on this list would love to find out who you are.
No. They were part of a very fair and square deal. Very orderly and logical.
So which one of them should we visit first?
I'll just start reading off some of the items since I can't read the dwarven part.
Mal, give me a intimidate.
I'll look for the one with the highest values.
Okay. Let's not do anything drastic here. You could create much bigger problems here. If you knew some of the addresses, you'd know that some of these people are taking from each other. We facilitate a very complex game of sorts.
Might be the first honest answer you've given us today. Tell me more.
Seems to be on the up and up. Okay. It's a little hard to explain, but the items in that book are kept the way they are, so it can go back and forth to other people. and loosely insinuate to each other who and why and about how much. And it's like a, how do I put this? It's a little game we run for them, and we keep a little bit for ourselves when we do it. But we steal from one to give to another. You know, they started with a few little things here and there, little pranks that people wanted to pull on each other, but then it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And lots of people want to be a part of it. But nobody wants to admit to it. Nobody wants to fess up. So I steal an item from this person, and then they realize an item of theirs is stolen, and they try to guess who it was that stole it from them, and we tell them about other things that other people have had that they've newly acquired, that about in dollar values, and then they try to get their items back. A little bit of a, I believe you've heard of the gift exchange, the tradition of white elephant. This is like a white elephant thieving arrangement.
It's a bunch of rich people with too much money.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, so you arrange games for a bunch of rich people to play tag with each other.
And all of this is consensual?
Well, consensual is the hard part. Nobody wants their stuff stolen, so there is still the chance of, if the authorities find out, we will have to spend some time in jail. But eventually someone will get us out.
My last question is, this man that you stole from, has he participated in your games?
This is the part that I'm relatively new with this group, and I'm kind of in the initiation phase. And part of the initiation phase is to acquire new clients.
Not sure I like where this is going.
Hey Mel, let me talk to you over here real quick. I'm gonna bring Mel over.
Yeah, sure, I go over to you, Zeke.
So maybe we become the new clients of this dude, and we have him steal the ledger from the shop owner that we.
That keeps our hands kind of clean of him knowing that we were involved.
And this dude wants new clients to get in, so he might be very willing to do that.
Kind of like what you're pitching here. I'm down with this plan. Especially since this wizard would know all of us at this point. All right. I would turn back to this guy and I'd say, okay, here's the deal. The problem with the clients you're going after is I don't care if you steal from a bunch of selfish rich pricks. There's plenty of those around. But you need to actually be stealing from the shitty ones. And we have a particularly shitty one that if you want to rip him off of something, we would turn a blind eye to everything that's gone on here. Potentially avoid any sort of stuff, and we could actually even give you a very exact location of someone who would have a lot of powerful stuff that you could potentially steal.
Go on.
All we would need is a little book that's pretty worthless to you. The information inside would actually potentially be useful.
I could probably steal a book. Who has this book?
I look at Zeke. Did you catch the name of this fellow?
Yeah, it's Theranin, Thrinain.
I look back at the guy.
As you look back at the guy, his eyes have like widened in terror, as if you just told him, as if you just like spoke abyssal to him.
Oh, so it's that guy's so ready for that sense motive.
Yeah, he is horrified.
He's just, yeah, then it's pretty obvious. I guess I didn't need to do all that.
Sir, no, I can't steal from him. There are many who've tried.
Tell us what people have tried and what went wrong, then.
He has a number of guards and wards on his building. It's a death trap to those who would try to steal from him. Some have lost their minds entirely, forgotten who they were, forgotten what they've known. Some have gotten off easy and just were confused for a while. Some were simply killed. I wouldn't dare take a chance at that. The idea of death sounds much better than potentially losing my mind.
I can argue with you on that.
Well, are there other people who orchestrate these games who might be willing to take a bigger risk than you?
I'm sure you could find somebody within the darkness that could.
How would we contact others in your network?
I could relay a message if there was a place where they could. If you had like a place for them to meet you.
How long would this take?
A few hours, if I got a name of one of yours. You need to be vetted, of course.
You can vet me. I have nothing to hide. Okay. I would say that we are willing to pay a fairly reasonable risk sum here. Especially, I'm sure Zeke would even give a higher premium if you are willing to, or whoever is willing to attempt to get this ledger for us. If you put this word out for whatever, we'll leave you to your games. I would recommend you probably stick to ripping off the people that probably would be less likely to alert guards and military in the future.
We always do as much as we can. Typically people with private wealth, the kind of money that we know that they've spent on things that are oddities or other things that they may not want other people to know have gone missing.
I'd give him the name. I'd say if there's anyone in your network that's interested, tell them to meet us at. I give them the name of the inn we're at. Tonight, we'll be in the tavern.
Very well.
I'm very hard to miss as I show him my hair.
How can we, is there anything we could use to tell that this person's part of the network?
He will have the same tattoo on the back of his neck. Though it won't be directly visible. If you need to verify, you will be able to check, but I don't think you'll need to verify.
All right.
He will be like me. Does anybody here... Can somebody give me a... What would this be?
Like you how?
Knowledge engineering?
No.
Damn.
What knowledge would this be?
Knowledge geography, clearly.
Oh, I hope so. Knowledge craft.
I don't know what our least... We're pretty balanced. Actually, knowledge planes is probably our least used
Give me
knowledge.
I think...
You say
Knowledge local.
Drats.
Potentially a knowledge geography as well.
Oh.
Okay, that's fine. That knowledge local is good. Give me a geography to go with it. Okay. Spinks, that's a good 1-2 combination. Cassius, you can... you'll fill in some additional details here. So, Spinks, at first, like, you've been looking at this person as you healed him and thinking for a little while about this, and part of your silence is that something doesn't quite seem right. Like, you realize he definitely can't be halfling as you're staring at him. Halflings definitely don't have that same facial structure. They don't have that same kind of hair pattern, but there's like, it's very clear that like he's tried to kind of put some coloration to it, using a little bit of like magical energy, but magical energy never quite covers up color exactly right. It never gets a color quite right. Sometimes it can get a very defined color, but it's that extra level of definition that makes it inaccurate. And as you're looking at him, you notice like his skin tone is a little off as well. That there must be some level of like magical play at this as well. And as you're thinking on it, the only thing you can think of is, are these dark gnomes? Svinnerfliblin? And you start trying to think about, like, whether or not there even have been any in this country in years upon years. You can't recollect anywhere on the map that they've been. No towns have claimed any of them. But to find even one here is an oddity. If potentially this is working with others, there could be something much bigger at hand here. And do you share that information?
Yeah.
Cassius, this will lead you to recall that there is no place in the country and in like some of the cave maps that you saw when you're in that cartographer's place, there is no place in the country that supposedly connects to tunnels deep enough, except the city of Akunsant, to find, if what she's saying is true, dark gnomes.
Interesting. I'll kind of mention that to her aside, as a little further away from this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Akunsant.
Not quite far from here, though.
So, he said something about them being like him.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to. I guess can I like try to sense motive and see?
No, that's kind of what I was implying. I was implying your sense
Okay.
motives were good enough to get the idea
Gotcha.
that he is discussing the idea that he's different and that there are others that are of similar nature to him.
Okay. Huh. It's real interesting.
All right, and I think this is where we will break for tonight. At some point, you guys will get to that bag, the two bags that are not being opened, and it's driving me crazy that they're not being opened. In the small bag that this Finnerfliblin is carrying around, there is about 100.
Was carrying around.
Yes, was carrying around. There's about 100 GP. In the other bag that was given to you by the wizard, is 10 silver or 10 sapphire pieces.
Oh, so I would have noticed that when I like peeked in there earlier. Then
Yes, but they are. Sorry, I'm sorry, not sapphire pieces. 10 sapphire gems.
coins. Oh, gems.
Gems.
Actual gems.
Yes. Hence it being slightly heavier. At first, when you looked in there, you would have thought, well, you never glanced in there, so.
No, like when I put that one down and like made the noise, I kind of like peeked in there a little bit, but I didn't want to like.
Okay, you could have easily misconstrued them for sapphire coins, but they are in fact sapphire gems.
Okay. Interesting.
And they are quite a good size. So I don't know how you want to split up the 100 gold from him, but can somebody give me? Actually, these are pre-appraised. So these are each equal to, as opposed to a normal sapphire coin being worth 100 gold pieces, these are worth double. So there's about 2,000 gold worth in this bag.
All right. I mean, if because these are you said the gems, like if they're
if they're manufactured around here, they have like they have etched into them their relative value.
Okay, yeah. All right. Well, if when we get back to the a place that doesn't have this guy around, I'll mention that too.
Yeah, I just wanted to fill that in rather than wait on it. So everybody, for defeating the giant scorpion, everybody can take a whopping 150 experience.
Whoa.
Yes.
And an additional 150 that the party gets for killing this rogue. Well, for downing and defeating this rogue. And everybody can take 200 for roleplay. And Mal and Arius, I believe, gave the bulk of the recap.
I didn't really do much. I'm not
Okay,
taking
sure,
it.
it'll go to Mal. All 100
I
for
said
you.
some stuff during the recap.
Nope, all for Mal. It's already been given up.
It was jokes, but
All for Mal. Yeah. And that will do it for XP.
Sounds good.
Bit more of a social session, but good amount of advancement this session. Mal's got his forge. So a couple of things that I want to bring up just as we're wrapping up here. Is it probably would be beneficial for Mal to in character have another one of his like where's everybody at kind of discussion periods. I know when he first got in, that was something that he talked about. And I feel like the party's probably grown a little ways. So I think if that's something Mal would be interested in doing, that might be a little powwow thing you guys might want to do. Doesn't necessarily have to be in-game. It can be out of game. You guys can have like a little dialogue about where everybody's at. But I don't know that like even out of character, everybody knows what everybody's doing right now. And it's been a couple of levels since you've kind of gotten more recent updates on each other.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's fair.
So,
Still got this mummy rot, or this not mummy rot.
yeah.
I also got mummy right now.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, it's contagious.
Yeah.
Any questions before we wrap up?
Nope.
Good.
All right. Well, I'm going to drop us out of stream. Good night, everybody. Thanks so much.